Hear how we'll be able to see a lump of rock the size of an aircraft carrier fly across the sky before the decade is out. All that, plus more unexpected elements, coming up shortly.
BBC News with Eileen McHugh. A senior UN official has told the BBC the situation around the Sudanese city of Al Fasher in North Darfur is catastrophic as fighting escalates in the year-long civil war between the army and the Rapid Support Forces. Turkey's trade minister has said all imports and exports with Israel will remain suspended until there's a permanent ceasefire in Gaza. On Thursday, Turkey announced trade would be halted until sufficient aid reached the Palestinian territory. The top French university, Sciences Po, has shut its main site in Paris because of pro-Palestinian demonstrations over the conflict in Gaza. Students have occupied part of the premises. A security alert is in place in the northeastern Indian state of Manipur on the first anniversary of the start of ethnic clashes. Events are being held to remember those killed. The military government in Myanmar has banned men from leaving the country to work abroad. A mandatory conscription law was imposed last week. Officials in Pakistan say at least 20 people have died when a bus fell into a steep valley in the northern mountain region. Reports say the driver lost control on a sharp bend. The top Indian female wrestler has criticised the governing BJP for nominating the son of a former Wrestling Federation chief who's accused of sexual abuse as its candidate in the national elections. The American newspaper The Wall Street Journal says it will move its Asia headquarters from Hong Kong to Singapore. A number of international publications have left Hong Kong since Beijing imposed a sweeping national security law in 2020. And the Chinese Space Agency has launched a rocket carrying a probe that will aim to collect samples from the far side of the moon and return them to Earth. The mission will take 53 days. That's the latest from BBC News.
This
Okay, so I think everything that I've said from the inception of the program had not come through because this thing was muted. My apologies. So I think everything that I've said from the inception of the program had not. I sincerely apologize for that. Let me recap quickly. Let me say good morning to every one of you, to my able producer as well, for a wonderful work that is being done, for drawing my attention to it. Now, always understand that miracles are not God's original way of operation. That is by way of the quote for the day. And then we've talked about the transport. We talked about the weather as well, where it's raining here. And my salutations to every one of you. Okay, so now we are on the path of bringing you taking you on global trotting. So let's do it. Let's move on. Let's go global trotting. My sincere apologies for the miss sound there. Okay. Now, Obi replies presidency. Omahi on Coastal Highway project says accusations are divisive. And the police arrest mastermind of Abuja Kaduna train attack. Well, that is a good one there. Military court martials 2 soldiers over Kaduna accidental bombing because a drone was being used. As whether they were trained good, they were good enough to use that. That was another story. Now, Customs launches advanced ruling project to facilitate trade. Apologies. And Nigeria's deposit insurance funds now in excess of 2 trillion naira. Magnus Abbey have made peace with Wike, and as Jalkuta still wastes, Nigeria annual import hits 8 billion. But we have its whole still industry at the Jalkuta one lying waste. So I asked myself, I said, what kind of people are we? What kind of people are we at all? ONSA wants full implementation of Cyber Crimes Amendment Act in 2024 and please accosts child trafficking syndicate in Abuja. You can arrest ex-governor Yaya Bello now. Former Attorney General tells the EFCC. Why are they saying so? More going to be coming your way. Crypto exchanges to meet Nigeria's SEC chief for regulatory talks. Now, we than modern GRAs will transform Ogun. That's what Obasanjo is saying. And then apply. Nigeria Army is recruiting. So if you want a job, yeah. You want a profession, yeah. Killer of Lagos resident shot dead at petrol station during argument over struggle for fuel is our officer. Nigeria Police is saying. And then Yaya Bello said Peter Obi won 2023 election, but he helped rig it for Tinubu. And Asonu has appointed Kwame's daughter as SSA. Well, I don't know much about that. I will tell you more about all that as the program goes on. Helicopter operators to ground operation over spike in landing fees. Those are some of the stories making the rounds this morning. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Moving on to other parts of the world, what have I got news for you? DR Congo, M23 rebel group claims control of Rubaya, a key mining town. The town of Rubaya holds a deposit of tantalum, which is extracted from coltan, a key component in the production of smartphones. It is among the areas that is being fought, and they say they are in control of it now. So what are they going to do? Are they going to get their own people to come and just be, or they will be just be, using it to facilitate their efforts there? It's quite interesting. A Guinness World Record. Nigerian woman attempts record by painting nails for 3 days. Okay, there are lots of records being set, right? Russian trainers, U.S. troops share base in Niger. We'll be looking at that as well. How is all that panning out? And then East Africa floods. UN chief extends condolences. Well, it's all something that we've all contributed to. So, what next? Okay, is a question on the list of most people. Now, let's move on straight to other parts of the world as well. Mawena Dumo Treba Mahama consoles the Dumo family and pleads on manhunt for 2 gunmen for fatal shooting of 2 off-duty police officers. The The Ghana Police Service is on a manhunt for 2 gunmen who fatally shot 2 off-duty police officers sitting in front of their private residence at Block Factory, East Trasacco, Accra. It's quite a worrying scene there. And over 11,000 sex workers, drug addicts reformed in 2023 by Church of Pentecost. A total of 11,142 commercial sex workers and drug addicts are believed to have been reformed by the Church of Pentecost in 2023 under its home and urban mission. The figure comprises of 1,069 commercial sex workers. We'll be telling you more about all that. Like here where we say, well, kudos to them, they've done very well, but is it a true turnaround, or is it official one? Okay. When I say official one, do you get it? All right. More going to be coming your way from there. Vomit your loot now, or hold on to it and face the consequences. I see it in Ketia to Ekufuado. Okay. Ghana and India discuss trade at the 4th GTC meeting, and Ghana moves up to 50th on World Press Freedom Index. And majority caucus requests reconvening of parliament. Someone say, for what reason? 2024 polls release names, images of returning officers for scrutiny. Care Ghana is saying. There are some of the stories making the rounds there as well. And that takes us straight to other parts of the world. We'll be looking at the UK pretty soon, but taking hold straight with Israel over Gaza tragedy, and China rocket blast off for far side of the moon. They are doing well, aren't they? Now, the quiet fear strategies behind Modi's rise. Wow. And down best and death toll rises in Brazil flats. They seem to be flats east, west, north, south. What else? Now, Russian forces sharing base with U.S. troops in Niger. Myanmar stops men from working abroad as war intensifies. Now, Irish College finds students' union over Gaza protests. Well, they tell you not here. Now, moving on to other stories here in the UK. Well, elections took place. But you know what, interestingly, if it was other part of the world, I don't know how, but in the UK, that's what people say that law works here, you know. Johnson was turned away. Boris Johnson, the former prime minister, was turned away from voting after forgetting his ID. But couldn't people, of course, he will be having his own, security operatives with him. He's a he was a former prime minister. He still has that, right? And couldn't they see and say that he is the one and allow him to vote? Who did that? Boy, if it was somewhere in Africa or some other place, I bet you that his head will be, the person's neck will be on the line. But well. Okay. Post office expert gave false evidence to court. Some of the stories making the rounds there as well. And government defeated in high court over climate plans. Those are some of the breaking news that is coming through. But when it comes to the elections, oh my goodness, bad night for Sunak as Tories suffer poll defeats. The Labour leader hails huge by-election win as party continues to gain ground in polls across England. So this and a lot more we're going to be bringing your way this morning. Wherever you are, don't touch the dial. Starr Radio UK at 8 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's enjoy this music. It's an airway funk, a gospel medley. Enjoy it, and I'll be with you.
Mau kanyesia you make bottle big bow. Mau kanyesia lo se mau kanyesia you make bottle big bow. Mau kanyesia hello. I got this, let's go. Let's get it. Can you clap with us? Come on, be a part of this recording. Let's go.
The coolest way to start your weekend.
This is Starr Radio UK. UK.
Only the best music.
smartphone.
Okay, some lovely tune there for you from Calclote and that wonderful group there. They call it our gospel funk. That is all giving thanks and praise to the Almighty God who has given us the opportunity to live life to the fullest. So wherever you are, I want to say thank you very much for tuning in to listen to us today. It is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We're going to be taking a break, and once we come back, we'll be looking at some of the stories, the details of the stories I will put across. And as I did say, exactly moi, at 11:45, we'll be opening the lines for you to add your voice to the discussions. And then after that, well, depending on whether we get our money man, if we get him, then we'll continue till 12:30 when we will usher him in. If not, well, we'll be bringing you something from him exactly at 12 o'clock, a pre-recorded one.
Everybody say,
But I'm saying good morning to Mr. Dan Tabiri, CEO of GIL Accountancy Service, our money man. Okie dokie do. So let's take a quick commercial break. We come back and we continue. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hey, Charlie. You're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy. You stressed out. Tired? Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenating, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and intact? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination intact. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy. Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London at 11:20 Pressway time. So let's crack on. What have I got news for you? Yes, of course. Starting from Nigeria. Some of the stories making the rounds there this morning for you. Okay. So kicking off from here, the banter between Peter Obi and the federal government or the presidency still goes on. Now Obi replies presidency Umahi on Coastal Highway project, says accusation is divisive. He says he's a presidential candidate with the Labour Party. In 2023 general election, Peter Obi has reacted to the allegation of incitement leveled against him by the federal government over his position that the trillions of Naira Coastal Highway project was not a priority in today's Nigeria. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, had Wednesday said Obi was inciting the Southeast against the federal government. But Obi, who insisted that his position on the Coastal Road project remained the same, stated that the allegation of inciting the people were divisive actions to distract the people from the main issue he raised. That such a project would lead to loss of jobs and increase hunger and spread poverty in a land already troubled. He, however, said priority should be put on internal roads first to move the economy forward. A statement by his chief spokesman, Dr. Tanko Yanuza Obi, said, regarding allegation of incitement against the government, I firmly reject these unfounded accusations aimed at tarnishing my character. My focus is on fostering constructive dialogue and inclusivity rather than engaging in divisive politics. Now, claims of incitement are baseless distraction. I advocate unity and advancement, refusing to partake in reactionary politics. My commitment to serving with integrity remains steadfast, and I encourage all Nigerians to unite for a prosperous future. He continued to say, I stand by my record as governor and reject any attempt to distort the narrative for political gains. My commitment remains unwavering to advocate for the rights and the well-being of Nigerians, ensuring that development initiatives prioritizes the needs of the people, he said. The former Anambra State governor insisted that the circumstances were different and wondered why they were not addressing the issue of poverty that was fast spreading in the country. It goes on further to say, it has come to my attention, and I strongly denounce the distortion of facts surrounding my actions and statements during my tenure as governor of Anambra State, particularly concerning the ongoing demolition and construction of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Superhighway. I aim to address these issues directly, devoid of political rhetoric, to ensure clarity for all. Listeners, Starr Radio UK. But Yaya Bello said Peter Obi won the 2023 elections, but he helped rake it for Tinubu. He said some facts has emerged. It's quite interesting. Now, claims have appeared online saying former Kogi governor Yaya Bello said Peter Obi won the 2023 presidential election. The poster claimed Bello said he helped rig the 2023 election for Tinubu, a long-time political power broker in Nigeria. A fact-checking platform investigated the claim and shared its findings in a report published recently. Now, it says a post on the popular social networking site Facebook claims that Yaya Bello, the immediate past governor of Kogi State, said he helped President Bola Tinubu to rig the 2023 elections. Recall, Tinubu was declared the winner of Nigeria's presidential election in 2023. Independent National Electoral Commission and Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu announced the results on March 1, 2023. Now, Tinubu of the ruling All Progressive Congress Party garnered a total of 8.7 million votes, defeating his two main rivals, Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, who secured 6.9 million votes, and Peter Obi securing 6.1 million votes. Now, Tinubu, Yaya Bello says that, Tinubu is a thief. I helped him rig the 2023 election. Peter Obi won him with great margin. EFCC has no right to arrest me because the president of Nigeria is not illegal. Yaya Bello purportedly opens up. Wow, that is scathing, serious one against the current president. But do you think that is going to falter or bring about any other thing? Will it? I want to say no. You can just get on to do whatever. Okay, now, still in connection with Yaya Bello, you can arrest ex-governor Yaya Bello now, former Attorney General tells EFCC. And once charges are in court, it's no longer the agency, economic and financial crime, that the EFCC that will arrest. It is the court that will issue summons against Yaya Bello. And when Yaya Bello does not appear, the EFCC will apply to the court for a bench warrant to bring him to come and answer charges. These are the steps he has to take. This is the verdict of the former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Michael Wanduaka, while featuring on a TV program. Anduaka, who is a senior advocate of Nigeria, advised the EFCC not to disregard the rule of law while carrying out its duties. Now, the EFCC ought to take orders from the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the enabling law, and the only people that interpret the enabling law are the judges. In this case, the only order EFCC will follow now is the order made by trial judge of Kogi High Court, which gave directions on how EFCC will proceed to arraign Yaya Bello. Well, so Yaya Bello seemed to find himself in a rock and a hard place, and by way of that, I think that's why he's going rampaging, or saying also, saying that even the president didn't win the election, that he helped him rig the elections. Well, if he has evidence, let him produce it and let's see. This is his word against the words of the Electoral Commission. So let's see. All right, then, listen to Starr Radio UK at 11:28, the favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. You remember the Kaduna train attack? Well, the Nigerian police force on Thursday announced the arrest of masterminds of the Abuja-Kaduna train attack. ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, force public relations officer, said in a press release posted on X, one of the major cases in the arrest of one Ibrahim Abdullahi, aka Mande, at Abuja Kaduna Road flyover by Redo Junction. The suspect confessed to being the leader of the kidnapped syndicate terrorizing Kaduna Abuja Highway, ranked among other criminals like Dogo Jide and Bello Toji. He had participated in various kidnapping incidents, including the kidnapping incident at the Greenfield University, and he partook in almost all the kidnappings along the Abuja Kaduna Highway. Adejobi added, similarly, from the confessional statement of the suspect on 28th of March 2022, Ibrahim, alongside one Awa Yuba, who was also paraded for kidnapping, and one Babangida Alhaji Bello, were part of the armed group that attacked the trains on its way from Abuja in the Kateri Regina area of Kaduna State, with several persons killed and others abducted. Listeners, it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. Now, I remember the mistakenly an accidental bombing of Kaduna. Well, the defense headquarters said on Thursday that 2 military personnel will face court-martial for the December 3, 2023 accidental bombing on the Tabiri village of Kaduna State. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, revealed this during a press briefing at the defense headquarters in Abuja on Thursday. Now, Buba said the investigation launched into the incident had been concluded with 2 personnel indicted. The accidental bombing led to the death of at least 85 civilians with several injured. The villagers were said to be celebrating Maulud, an Islamic festival, when the incident happened, with the army promptly owing up to the accidental bombing and describing it as highly regrettable. Now, Bola Tinubu ordered a probe into the incident with a military promise that while the military promised that any personnel found culpable will be punished. The DHQ on December 8 instituted an 8-member panel to initiate an investigation into the incident. Listeners, this is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, Nigeria's deposit insurance fund is now in excess of 2 trillion naira and gives the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation the firepower to take on new maximum deposit insurance coverage levels for all licensed deposit-taking financial institutions, which it substantially jacked up on Thursday. The money is made up of current balances in all the 4 deposit insurance funds managed by the NDIC, including the deposit money banks, primary mortgage banks and microfinance banks, non-interest banks, and the payment and payment service banks. Now, Bello Hassan, Managing Director and Chief Executive NDIC, disclosed this in Abuja at a press conference where he equally announced the corporation's decision to adjust with immediate effect the maximum deposit insurance coverage for deposit money banks, and which was moved up substantially from 500,000 to 5 million naira, which will provide full coverage of 98.98% of the total depositors, compared with the current cover of 89.20. Well, that shows how much inflation that has occurred, and therefore whatever they were taking at that time cannot go far enough to compensate when the need arises. Well, listen to Starr Radio UK. Now, as Ajaokuta still wastes, Nigeria's annual import hits $8 billion. So we are enemies to ourselves, right? Nigeria spent $8 billion to import steel into the country annually. Hence, the urgent need to revamp the Ajaokuta Steel Company, the Minister of Steel Development, Shaib Abubakar, has said. Abubakar disclosed this at an interactive session with the House of Representatives Committee on Steel Development in Abuja yesterday. The minister said the revival of Ajaokuta Steel will cost money, and a 10-year document for its revival has been written to be presented to the President Bola Tinubu. He said the federal government paid 500 million to terminate the concessional agreement of Ajaokuta, adding that the ministry was working very hard to find a solution to the Ajaokuta Steel. The minister said funding remains a big challenge to the development of the steel industry, which is the bedrock of industrialization, but requires adequate funding. He said the $2 billion being requested to receive the Maribon Steel Company was just a preliminary calculation, noting that the figure might be less. This is an estimate that may not be accurate at the last decimal point. It is just a process that will allow us to arrive at the right destination. The president has asked me to find a solution to Ajaokuta, so the figure will change pending the outcome of the technical audit. It is clear to Nigeria that for this to happen, we need funding and all the help we can get from the 2 chambers. This is why I need all your support to make this a reality. The chairman's The committee's chairman, Honorable Zainab Jimba, requested the ministry to provide it with all procurement processes and other explanations demanded, lamenting that Jakarta has remained a nightmare to many. Massive. That we just leave it for it to go west. And then we use the scarce resources that we have to be importing. So you ask yourself the question, what is going on here? What exactly is going on? Well, listeners, 11:35, and I think I need to bring that updates from Nigeria to a close so that we can move on to other parts of the country, of the world as well, to bring you some of the stories making the round. Environmental Protection Agency staff has stated that they have suspended their intended demonstration on Friday, May 3, to allow the engagement by stakeholders. The leadership of the Public Service Workers Union of the EPA had declared an indefinite strike effective Friday, May 3, 2024. The move is in protest of what they describe as an attempt to eject the executive director for the EPA, Dr. Kingsley Kurugu, from the official residence for the new Interior Minister, Henry Quartey. However, in the statement, the staff indicated that the demonstration has been called off. This decision has been reached to pave the way for further engagement with the key stakeholders, including the EPA Management and Governing Board, the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology and Innovation, the Ministry of Works and Housing, and the Ministry of Interior. It is our opinion that a constructive dialogue on this issue is essential to address the concerns and grievances raised by the staff of the agency. The EPA division of PSWU/TUC disclosed in a statement. So the EPA staff were looking at pushing their former, it was the official, the move in protest that the executive director for the EPA, Dr. Kingsley Kurugu, from his official residence for the new Interior Minister, Henry Quartey. What is all that about? We'll be following it very, very closely, and I promise you one thing for sure, that during the course of the day, or let's say, we'll do our best to bring that your way. Okay, just moving on to some other stories making the rounds this morning. So from Ghana as well. Let me say good morning to Miss Donna Takia boy nowadays. Good morning to you. That is my spiritual daughter there. Okay. Now the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Mahama, has consoled with the Dumor family over the demise of their daughter, Mawena Dumor Treba. In a Facebook post, Mr. Mahama stated that the demise of Mawena is not a loss to only the family, but to the entire nation. I paid a somber and emotional visit to the residence of Professor Ernest Dumor to express my condolences to him and the family of the death of their beloved daughter, sister, and mother, Mawena Dumor Treba. Mawena was a remarkable woman who left an indelible impact on the lives of those around her. She will be remembered and cherished by all who had the privilege of knowing her, Mr. Mahama stated. He continued, "It is a great loss to us all, but our hearts at this moment goes out to Professor and her little girl. Words cannot heal the grief we all feel. May God grant Mawena a peaceful rest from the sufferings she went through in the last stages of her life." Ladies and gentlemen, it is all Starr Radio, okay? It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. One other story, then we'll move on. Well, the president can wear anything, right? by-election voting underway at Ejiso, which was 30th April. We know that took place, and I was just looking at some comments that have come through there. But one other story. Let me bring this one. It's quite, let me put it a bit controversial, but I'll still touch on that. A total of 11,142 commercial sex workers and drug addicts are believed to have been reformed by the Church of Pentecost in 2023 under its home and urban mission. Now, the figure comprises 1,069 commercial sex workers and 10,073 drug addicts. Now, it's a ministry of the church with the goal of reaching out to all marginalized and unreached groups with the gospel. Representing the state of the church address, Chairman of the Church of Pentecost, Apostle Eric Nyamiche, said 38,102 outreaches were carried out in the year and review by the home and urban mission, with 43,000 souls won. The souls won were made up of 1,069 commercial sex workers, 2,584 street dwellers, 10,073 drug addicts, 15,877 northerners in the south, 1,777 African migrants, 2,272 expatriates, 836 Fulani, 163 Kotokoli, and 4,366 others. Apostle Eric Nyamiche said the total membership population of the Church of Pentecost as of December 2023 stands at 3.86 million in Ghana alone, representing a growth of 7.4% of the previous figures, while worldwide membership hits 4.534 million. Beyond the spiritual outreach, the church has made a substantial impact on education, health, and economic empowerment. The various district areas and ministries in Ghana, together with headquarters of the church, spent 14.28 million Ghana cedis to sponsor the educational pursuit of members of the church at various levels. A total of 103 basic schools, 2 senior high schools, and 2 vocational training institutes, with a total students population of 35,468 and a staff strength of 2,184 operated across the country under the church. Now, during the year under review, 4 new health facilities were under construction and at different stages of completion. These facilities are located at Teshe, Praso, Ohene Nkwanta in the Konongo area, Kumbangre in the Boga area, and Asuode in the Buakwa area. A newly constructed community clinic in Abesiwa was commissioned, bringing the total number of health built by the church to 11. The church also spent over 7 million cedis on health support for its members. According to Apostle Nyamiche, the interventions that covered a variety of socio-economic spheres of life included the construction or commissioning of an ultra-modern children ward at the Kede Government Hospital, which cost 370,000 Ghana cedis. Cumulatively, in the past 5 years, 2019 to 2023, the Church of Pentecost also provided 193 water facilities to deprived communities, towns and villages, institutions, schools, prisons, police stations, health facilities, and mission houses in Ghana. These facilities serve over 100,000 people. For employment and economic growth, the church established a coconut oil factory at Adanse, Atwereboa community in Adanse district in the same Fosu area, the central region, at the cost of 95,000 Ghana cedis. The Full Gospel Businessmen Fellowship International Ghana this year adjudged the Church of Pentecost with a Social Impact Award church category, acknowledging the church's outstanding societal impact and significant contributions to national development. Well, they're looking at it holistically, okay? So not only the soul, but everything pertaining to the being. Ladies and gentlemen, Star Radio UK, we move on now straight at the quarter to 12. As I did say, we don't have Mr. Dan Tabiri. We'll be looking at some at bringing the first part of the program to a close. Then yes, and then bring you a pre-recorded program that we've had with him from 12 o'clock to 12:30 or thereabout. So wherever you are, stay tuned, don't you go away. Let's take a quick commercial break and I'll be with you.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Yo, what's up, people? This is a boy Raskin Bobo One. Tune in every day, every night at the Starr Radio UK with the big man them Archie. When I say Orta, you say fire.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I bring it the time now to exactly 40 minutes to the top of the hour. And it's a Friday edition of the morning show. Stay tuned and don't you go away. Let's now go to other parts of the world to look at some of the stories making the rounds there. Okay? Yes. Let's go on. So in other parts of the world, this Israel-Gaza banter that seems to be going on seems to be causing lots of problem here and there. Turkey has suspended all trade with Israel over its offensive in Gaza, citing the worsening humanitarian tragedy in the Strip. The Turkish Trade Ministry said the measure will be in place until Israel allowed an uninterrupted and sufficient flow of aid into Gaza. Trade between the two countries was almost $7 billion last year. Israel's foreign minister accused Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan of acting like a dictator. Now, Israel Katz said on X that Mr. Erdogan was disregarding the interests of the Turkish people and businessmen and ignoring international trade agreements. He added that he had instructed the foreign ministry to find an alternative for trade with Turkey with a focus on local production and imports from other countries. The Turkish trade minister Omar Bolat criticized Israel's uncompromising attitude towards a ceasefire as well as humanitarian situation in the southern Gaza city of Rafah. Now, Turkey has suspended all exports and imports with Israel until a permanent ceasefire is established and the aid into Gaza is allowed without any interruption. In 1949, Turkey was the first Muslim majority country to recognize Israel, but relations have worsened in recent decades. In 2010, Turkey broke off diplomatic ties with Israel after 10 pro-Palestinian Turkish activists were killed in clashes with Israel commandos who boarded a Turkish-owned ship trying to break Israel's maritime blockade of the Gaza Strip. Now, relations were restored in 2016, but both countries expelled each other's top diplomats 2 years later in a dispute over Israel's killing of Palestinians amid protests on the Gaza-Israel border. Now, Mr. Erdogan has become increasingly strident in his criticism of Israel since the deadly Hamas attack on Israel on the 7th of October last year. He has repeatedly criticized Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, comparing him to Adolf Hitler, Benito Mussolini, and Joseph Stalin, and dubbing him the butcher of Gaza. Mr. Netanyahu has said Turkey's leader is the last person who can preach morality to Israel. In March, he said President Erdogan supports the mass murderers and rapists of Hamas, denies the Armenian genocide and massacres Kurds in his own country. The Turkish leader has for months come under domestic political pressure to announce measures against Israel from both opponents and allies. His ruling AK party suffered its worst defeat in 2 decades in local elections at the end of March, and many religious voters supported the Islamist New Welfare Party, which had called for hardline measures against Israel. Not long after the vote, Turkey imposed restrictions on 54 products being exported to Israel, from iron and steel to jet fuel, pesticides, and construction equipment. The trade ministry in Ankara said on Thursday that the action was now being extended to all exports and imports. Israel was Turkey's 13th biggest export market in 2023, receiving 2.1% of Turkish exports last year. Turkey was Israel's 5th biggest source of imports last year. Israel has come under increasing criticism for conditions in the Gaza Strip. A UN-backed assessment said last month that 1.1 million people were facing catastrophic hunger and that famine was imminent in northern Gaza by May. On Thursday, the White House said in a pier built by the U.S. military to facilitate the flow of aid in the territory will be open within days. But well, listeners, it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. The Middle East banter continues to go on, but it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, interestingly, Russian troops have been deployed to an airbase in Niger where American troops are located. Top U.S. officials have said. Now, the move is seen as adding pressure to the U.S. as it negotiates withdrawing its forces from the country following an expulsion order by its military junta. The U.S. has been operating 2 drone bases in Niger aimed at countering Islamic insurgents in the region. Now, Washington has announced last year's coup. In turn, junta leaders have turned to Russia for assistance. Now, Niger is in Africa's Sahel region, which is considered the new global epicenter of the Islamic State group. The U.S. has relied on Niger as its primary base for monitoring regional jihadist activities. Now, the Russians deployed to the airbase 101 at Niger International Airport in the capital Niamey are said to be military trainers. They are said to be occupying a wing close to contingent of U.S. troops, according to Reuters news agency. Officials in Niger told the U.S. that around 60 Russian troops were in the country. Relations between the U.S. and Russia have been deteriorating sharply since President Vladimir Putin launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, with the U.S. leading Western efforts to supply weapons to Ukrainians. However, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has played down any risks to the American troops. The Russians are in a separate compound and don't have access to U.S. forces or access to our equipment, Mr. Austin told journalists in Honolulu, Hawaii. Listeners, it is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. In Myanmar, the military government has stopped, or will no longer allow conscription-age men to travel out of the country for work. Weeks after an enlistment order prompted many to try and flee. On Thursday, authorities said they will suspend all applications from men for overseas work permits. There is a large diaspora of Myanmar citizens working in other countries in Asia, and previously locals had been allowed to leave for jobs abroad. But the restrictions come as the junta battles increased opposition in the country's ongoing civil war. The junta had imposed a conscription order in February following months of losses. Nearly 100,000 men applied for work permits in the 3 months after that, part of a wider exodus of people fleeing. Now, young people who had previously spoken to the BBC of their desperation to get out of the country. Men aged 18 to 35 and women aged 18 to 27 are obliged to enlist. To fight who? The crackdown on the work abroad now is being seen as another major blow. Myanmar Many in Myanmar had gone to work in countries like Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, South Korea, as well as the United Arab Emirates. The 32-year-old man who was preparing to leave the country for Japan said he was devastated. He has lost their hope for the future. There are no jobs opportunities within the country, and now they've also forbidden us from leaving the country. Are we not allowed to do anything? He said. Koo Pheo, a 28-year-old from Lewe Township in the capital, Naypyidaw, told the BBC Burmese the military council directive left the country's youth with no work prospect at all. So, are they not losing their support? And what is going to happen from that front? Ladies and gentlemen, it is all Starr Radio UK. At 5 minutes to the top of the hour, we still got some more news for you, so don't you go away. Let's take a quick commercial break. We come back and we continue with the program.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medase.
Hey, Charlie. You're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy. You stressed out. Tired? Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep. Welcome back to the program Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to exactement, as I would say, 3 minutes to the top of the hour. We still have got some news for you, and we're going to see whether we can get our money man also getting an info from him as well as to whether, because he's caught up in some meetings and I think that's eluded him, but don't you worry, we're still waiting. We'll see what happens from there. Okay, now another story is making the rounds this morning as well. Narendra Modi will find out in June if he won a record third term in a row as India's Prime Minister. After a decade in power, he is omnipresent. But frequently seen at his side is a less talked about politician who has helped mastermind the extraordinary rise of the Bharatiya Janata Party, the BJP. Amit Shah, often called India's second most powerful man, is formidable old friend, Mr. Modi, closest confidant, and the brains behind his election juggernaut. The headline Hindu nationalist, popularly known as Amit Bhai, Mr. Shah has charted numerous elections wins for the BJP. He also lacks the star power of the Prime Minister and is more a private man, but he is an excellent organizer and campaign strategist, a shrewd politician, and like Mr. Modi, a hugely polarizing figure. So he's the one pushing him on and pushing him on and pushing it on. But we'll see what happens when the results come in from the Indian election. The US President Joe Biden has called Japan and India xenophobic, grouping them together with Russia and China as countries that don't want immigrants. His criticism of Japan comes just week after he called the US-Japan alliance unbreakable during a state visit from the Prime Minister Fumio Kishida. India is also a key US partner despite US concerns about human rights and religious freedom there. The White House says Mr. Biden meant no offense to either country. Now, speaking to a predominantly Asian American audience at a campaign fundraising event on Wednesday evening, Mr. Biden said the U.S. election this November was about freedom, America, and democracy. Why? Because we welcome immigrants. He added, think about it. Why is China stalling so badly economically? Why is Japan having trouble? Why is Russia? Why is India? Because they are xenophobic. They don't want immigrants. But the BBC contacted the US embassies of Japan, India, China, and Russia for comment, but did not receive any immediate replies there. Now, the comments, however, have drawn criticism from US commentators. On X, Eldridge Cobby, former US Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense in the Trump administration, wrote that Japan and India are two of our very stoutest and important allies. We should speak to them with respect, which they command and deserve. He added, applying parochial progressive views to our allies is patronizing and foolish. Wow. Although Japan and India and China have relatively few foreign-born workers, Russia is heavily reliant on migrant labor, much of it drawn from Central Asia. While economic growth has been sluggish in Japan and China, Russia's militarized economy rebounded slightly as last year as its war with Ukraine continued, despite international sanctions. India, meanwhile, has experienced steady growth and surpassed the UK in 2023 to become the world's fifth largest economy. The White House denied that Mr. Biden's comments were meant in derogatory sense, with National Security spokesman John Kirby saying he was making a wider point on U.S. immigration policy. Well, listeners, this is Starr Radio UK, and this is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 2 minutes past 12 the time. Your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. One other story before we come home here in the UK. Now, scandal, hush money payments, secret recordings, and Donald Trump's alleged gag order violation took center stage during his 10th day in court. The court heard testimony from Keith Davidson, a lawyer who brokered porn star Stormy Daniels' hush money deal. Now, questioning of Mr. Davidson grew hostile as the defense tried to paint him as a sleazy Hollywood profiteer. He pushed back, alleging the defense had wrongly used words like extortion and described valid legal settlements. Now, we're both lawyers. I'm not here to play lawyer games with you, the ex-president's lawyer, Emil Bove, said on Thursday in a particularly heated moment during cross-examination. Mr. Bove unearthed several celebrity scandals that Mr. Davidson allegedly was involved in keeping quiet, apparently in an effort to shake the witness' credibility. Mr. Trump's lawyer asked whether Mr. Davidson had extracted sums of money from actor Charlie Sheen and if he worked with a sex tape broker on behalf of reality star Tyler Tequila. There were also stories about actress Lindsay Lohan's visit to a rehabilitation facility and professional wrestler Hulk Hogan's sex tapes. Mr. Davidson repeatedly maintained that the settlements he was involved in were fair and legitimate. He also regularly cited attorney-client privilege. Prosecutors, meanwhile, had called Mr. Davidson to connect Mr. Trump, his ex-lawyer Michael Cohen, and the $130,000 hush money payment he paid to Ms. Daniels ahead of the 2016 presidential election. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Listeners, how is it all going if you have been monitoring it? How do you see it? Well, is Trump on the winning side? Yeah. Okay, at 4 minutes past the top of the hour, Starr Radio UK, the Friday edition of the morning show. We get into a place where we're going to be running up the program pretty soon, but wherever you are, don't you go away. The government has been defeated in the court for a second time for not doing enough to meet its targets for cutting greenhouse gas emission. Environmental campaigners argued that the energy minister signed off the government's climate plan without evidence it could be achieved. The High Court ruled on Friday that the government will now be required to redraft the plan again. In response, the government defended its record on climate action. A department for energy security and net zero spokesperson said the UK can be hugely proud of its record on climate change. We do not believe our court case about process represents the best way of driving progress towards our shared goals of reaching net zero. Listeners, Starr Radio UK, still in the UK. What have I got news for you? Yeah. John Sweeney looks set to become Scotland's next First Minister after Kate Forbes confirmed she will not challenge him for the SNP leadership. Mr. Sweeney, the former Deputy First Minister and party leader, announced his intention to succeed Hamza Yusuf and offered Ms. Forbes a significant role in his government. Now, Ms. Forbes later confirmed in a statement she will not stand in the contest and endorsed Mr. Sweeney. The former Finance Secretary had been the only SNP politician to publicly state she was considering a leadership bid. Now, she said in the statement, I have concluded that the best way to deliver the urgent change Scotland needs is to join with John Sweeney and advocate for that reform agenda within the Scottish Government. I can therefore today announce that I will not be seeking nomination as the next SNP leader. John will therefore have my support and endorsement in any campaign to follow. Ms. Forbes said she had listened carefully to Mr. Sweeney's statement and welcomed his commitment to ensure internal respect for robust and divergent debate in the party. She said she had frank and constructive talks with the former Deputy First Minister. Listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, bringing us closer, or itching closer to the end of the program, because our money man has still not been contacted. All right then. Now, elections. Okay, and let me bring that your way. It looks like the Conservatives didn't do well at all, though some of us of London were thinking, you know what, let's try the Conservatives and see. But well. Now, it's been a bad night for Rishi Sunak as Tories lose Blackpool, South and local councils. Rishi Sunak has been hit by a string of defeats in the last big test of public opinion before a general election. Now, Labour is gaining seats across England in local election and took Blackpool South in Westminster by-election. Mr. Sunak had been praised for a bad night, but the loss of key councils and big swing to Labour in Blackpool will put fresh pressure on his leadership. Many more results are still to come. With only about a third of 107 councils declared so far, the Conservatives are hoping T Valley Mayor Lord Ben Hodgson will retain his position, with a result expected after midday. Most other mayoral results, including London, where Labour Sadiq Khan is aiming to win a third time, will come on Saturday. Now, Labour leader Keir Starmer said Blackpool result, a massive 26% swing to Labour, sent a direct message to Rishi Sunak from voters that we want change. He said that wasn't just a little message, that wasn't just a murmur, that was a shout from Blackpool. We want change, and Blackpool speaks for the whole country. He's saying that we've had enough now. Starr Radio UK. The Conservative MP Paul Scully said the results so far were pretty horrendous and the party needed to suck that up, take it on the chin, be humble and admit that the facts we need to create a vision over the next few months ahead of a general election. MP Dame Andrea Jenkins, a long-standing critic of Mr. Sunak, urged him to listen to the electorate and change courses, saying the party needed to wake up, be conservative or we lose. Conservative Party Chairman Richard Holden described the local election result so far as disappointing and said his party needed to start talking about the successes and the vision of the future. That's why the general election is expected to be called in the next 6 months or so. He said, overall disappointing night for us, but that's what you'd expect from parties in midterm of government. Labour will be pleased to have regained control of key council targets, Hartlepool, Turrock, Rushmore and Redditch, areas where they are aiming to win the general election later this year. But there are evidence in areas with a significant Muslim population that Labour's stance on Gaza is hurting the party. In Oldham, where 2 Labour councillors quit the party over Gaza earlier this year, Labour lost control of the council. Okay, now so it's all a matter of waiting for the war in Gaza to cease, and that would turn the tide, give the positive tide when it comes to Labour in the UK. But what do you think about all that? Wow. Listeners to Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, so far with the results coming in, Labour has won 350 seats, Lib Dems 127, and they've taken lead over Conservatives 125, Independents 66, Green Party 28, and other parties, yes, 5. But Labour has gained 64 seats and Lib Dems 21, but Conservatives have lost 140 seats. Listeners, this is Starr Radio UK. This is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And let me do a last check, and if no information, then that means that this is where we are bringing the program to a close for today. Well, I'll be bringing you something from a past one from our money man, so stay tuned, don't you go away. Let's take this commercial break and I'll be with you.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hey, Charlie. You're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy. You stressed out. Tired? Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenating, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386 and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep. Okay, listeners, this is Starr Radio UK, and this is where we bring the program to a close for today. Well, I sincerely apologize for our not attending of the absence of our money man, but wherever you are, have a lovely weekend. I'll see you all on Monday, but remember, Sunday we'll be having the Faith Talk, and we're having a church service from Bible Life, live streaming from Bible Life Family Ministries as well. So we hope that you join in to listen to us. But this was a sign off with a song that I brought you earlier on from the Airway medley there, featuring Carl Clotte, an unofficial one. Just enjoy it and have a lovely weekend. It's been me, Archie, saying bye-bye for now.